Oh, hello. My name's Ben, and I'm going to tell you a wonderful story entitled A Dinosaur Adventure. When British aristocrats Lord and Lady Weston-Smythe bought the spooky Longtail Estate in 1906, they had absolutely no idea of the creatures that already called it home. They put the rumours of late-night roars and devoured deer just down to the locals trying to scare them away, and paid a princely sum for the land and small lodgings. Now, Archibald and Esme were an adventurous pair who had travelled literally all over the world, but now they wanted a place to call home, and the beautiful Norfolk surroundings were perfect for their children, intrepid explorers Henrietta and Cornelius, and their scrappy terrier Rex, to roam around and get messy, as well as a small holding for their deer and other animals. Now, Henrietta had a keen interest in paleontology ever since she'd seen Dippy at the Natural History Museum in London. The dinosaur model, everybody knows, had arrived from America the year before. It was a fresh Norfolk morning, and she soon settled on a spot to begin her inaugural dig. Keen to be a dino discoverer too, Cornelius tagged along, although he mainly made castles and put worms in his mouth. Just when Henrietta was about to give up hope of finding any bones whatsoever, she spotted Cornelius playing with an unusual stone. Only it wasn't a stone. It was a dinosaur tooth. Soon, Henrietta realised that they were sat on a giant T-Rex skeleton. Consulting her paleontology textbook, she studied the bones and figured out they hadn't been there very long, perhaps only a few years. But how was that possible? Immersed in her thoughts, and Cornelius in his mud bath, they hadn't realised that a large T-Rex had tracked their scent and was standing right behind them. Startled by T-Rex's mighty roar, Henrietta and Cornelius ran away into the woods. The dinosaur was hot on their heels. After making their way through the thick brush, they clambered up the branches and climbed from tree to tree, using vines to swing like two tiny Tarzans. And now at that height, the T-Rex could only watch, just gnawing at the lower branches, looking up at them, all sad. Soon, Cornelius started to get hungry, and he began to cry. Henrietta, fearful of climbing down, didn't know what to do. But that's when a large Diplodocus head appeared. The friendly dinosaur dipped its head for the two children to climb aboard, and they did. And he took them to the bottom of the garden, and they made it home just in time for tea. On the account of the way that the charitable dinosaur bowed its head for them to dismount, Henrietta named him Dippy. Archibald and Esme didn't believe their children when they regaled them their frightening adventure, but Henrietta wasn't taking any chances. The next day, she set up an assault course to put her and Cornelius through their paces. They needed to be fit if they were going to stay one step ahead of the T-Rex. While they clambered and jumped, their faces red and hearts beating fast, and Cornelius constantly asking when it's time for lunch, some smaller dinosaurs appeared, curious about the commotion. They wanted to have a go too. Henrietta beckoned to them to join in, and soon she was leading a small troop of dino buddies over the course. They were scared of T-Rex too, and wanted to outrun him, just like them. Soon the gang was beat, and they all wanted to cool off. But T-Rex was guarding the small pond, so the rest of the dinosaurs were always going thirsty. Henrietta decided something had to be done. The friendly dinosaurs led her to a little clearing with a sunken pit. It was dry, but not for long. The children dragged the rubber hose from the garden shed. Esme used it to water her rose bushes, put the nozzle in the pit, and turned on the tap. Soon the dinosaurs were splashing around to their heart's content, cooling off in the summer sun. Suddenly, T-Rex appeared, and the dinosaurs scattered, terrified for their lives. Henrietta and Cornelius hid behind a bush, but rather than roar or chase after them, T-Rex tentatively approached the pool and lowered his head to drink. Then he sat down and started to cry. Henrietta hadn't had much chance to look closely at him before, but it was obvious now that he was only young. Perhaps the T-Rex bones they'd found had been his mother's, and now he was all alone. Slowly, she made her way a little bit closer, reaching out her hand to stroke his sad head. To her surprise, he didn't flinch, but he smiled at her, happy for the attention. Slowly, the other dinosaurs emerged, realizing T-Rex meant them no harm. He was hungry, but he didn't want to hurt them. The other dinosaurs brought vegetation and fruit from the forest, but T-Rex still needed to eat some meat. Henrietta had a bright idea. Maybe T-Rex could eat the deer meat her father hunted. The dinosaurs crept along behind Henrietta as they made their way to the small holding. Cornelius pointed out all the pigs and sheep and chickens and told T-Rex not to eat any of them. Henrietta pointed out the cold store where the deer meat was kept. T-Rex could finally stop terrorizing the other dinosaurs, and they could all live together in peace. For years to come, Henrietta and Cornelius explored those woods with the dinosaurs, discovering new bones and meeting new species, while Archibald often wondered where on earth all his venison went. But funny thing though is that neither he nor Esme ever saw a dinosaur. But that's probably because they weren't looking hard enough, were they? Today, of course, their estate is open to the public, and you can come and explore the same treetops, the same watering holes, and the same assault courses that Henrietta and Cornelius did. In other parts of the world, they say that dinosaurs are extinct. But here at Longtail, we know better, don't we? Well, keep your wits about you, because you never know what's round the corner. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.